Yep.
Good way to celebrate the solstice. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's
we're
the-
gonna.
There's the other Mariani. There's Evan.
There's Evan.
Oh,
The family's here.
we're all here.
Yeah.
So you getting a lot of snow?
We
You got
got
about a foot.
Not
Yeah.
here. Not in
Not too much.
Minnesota of all places.
I know.
Yeah.
I heard Minnesota got missed. Like, yeah, 0.
Yeah, we got green grass. We were out walking this morning for a couple miles. It's absolutely perfect.
Yes.
wow.
Love it. Oh my God.
Yeah, we got like, what did we say? Like 10 inches or 8 inches?
We got a foot. So that's the view literally right out this window.
Wow.
Yeah, you got lucky. You got all the snow.
Yeah.
Hi, Cornelia. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Cornelia. Hey, Pat.
Good morning.
Morning.
Megan, just so you know, I've already started recording.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for
Smile.
the heads up.
So be
In
nice.
other words, don't say anything that you might feel bad about saying.
Exactly.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Good morning, Don.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Don.
Hey.
Hi, Amy. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning, Cathryn.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Lots of familiar faces.
Yeah.
Gang's all here.
Hey, Beth.
We all have our coffee, right? Coffee's ready.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm in water.
Oh, great. Beth Wofford. Where's Evan? I don't see Evan.
Well, we haven't seen his
It's just his
face.
video's not on. That's all.
Here.
Oh,
I'm saying on video. I have bedhead still.
that's okay. We're all.
Now we
we're
really
all-
want to see. Now we really want to see you.
Yes, exactly.
Well, people are still coming on, and it is the bottom of the hour.
No time.
We'll wait just a
No,
minute.
no, let's get started. It's
Let's get
10:30.
started. Okay.
Do it.
All right. Let's do it. So welcome everyone to our Sunday house. Today is December 20th, and I know that the solstice is tomorrow, but we're celebrating today with all of you. So my name is Megan Moore, and on behalf of the Center for
Mom, hold on 1 second. Sorry. Dad, can you mute everybody? And then
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt Mom, but yes, I just muted everybody. So now you can go, man.
My name is Megan Moore, and on behalf of the Center for Functional Nutrition, I welcome all of you and each one of you to our Sunday morning coffee house. Our mission is to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. And today, without further ado, I'm going to pass the coffee house over to Brian because we have a lot today. Many voices speaking to us today.
yes, thank you so much, Megan. This is an exciting day. It's kind of unbelievable that 2020 is coming to a close, and it's absolutely incredible to look out and to see all of you and to just have these visions popping into my mind of the relationships that we've built this year, especially. It was a year of incredible disconnection and confusion and just pain and I'm sure suffering, but also a great opportunity to connect and to find ways to be a part of people's lives that maybe we weren't before. And I know that for me, as I look out here, I see people that I know I'll be friends with and connected with for a long, long time. So I'm just incredibly grateful that this coffee house formed, and it only happened because of the people here that said, hey, let's do this. And we've given tremendous value to a community much larger than I think any of us probably know. So I'm very grateful for all of you. Thank you for being with us. And this is going to be a celebration. We're going to celebrate and we're going to have fun, and we're going to hear from incredible minds and thought leaders today that really have the ability to look at the big picture and also give us just incredible nuggets that we can take away today. So this is going to be a reflection on what is and what has happened, but also what's to come, so that we can all go forward into the holidays and finish out this year with a great knowingness that what we're up to is real, it's important, and just let's have some fun. So let's kick things off with Cornelia. I see you there. I'd love for you to just set the stage for all of us. And for those of you that don't know Cornelia, sorry, Cornelia is a dear friend. She is a master practitioner out of Minnesota, and she does kind of a culmination of many different practices. I'll let her kind of dive into that a little bit, but she is an incredible human being. She has a huge heart for the world, and she really specializes in a number of different therapies that, when put together, provide huge value for a lot of people. So Cornelia, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you so much. That's such an honor that I can start. I was kind of not prepared for that, but I will take that challenge. So 2020. Yeah, 2020 is one of the biggest years for everybody probably, but for me even more so, because my mother passed, and my mother passed in a different country of mine where I live, and she passed in Germany. And with the COVID situation, it was even more of a struggle of, oh, when do I go over there? Do I get to see her or not? And it provided the stage for a much, much deeper connection, I must say. There was a much, much deeper connection there because I opened myself up and said, oh, how can I connect spiritually again to her? You know, she was in hospice for a while. I knew that, and I knew she was really well taken care of by my siblings, you know, and who are still in Germany. And I knew she had what she needed. And when I was dancing, I participate in a practice called Aware Dance. I invited her, and each time I invited her to dance with me, because she loved dancing when she was alive, was a really, really deep connection, and I could see her soul. I could cradle her, I could be with her, and in such a deep way that wouldn't have happened in person, actually. So I'm really incredibly grateful for that, and I did organize and help facilitate the funeral and everything with my siblings, and we by that brought about again a deeper connection. So 2020 for me is about really, really deep connections, and connections that will last, you know, and we know that even through a pandemic, we are better connected on different other dimensions and levels than we've been in person. So this has opened up a lot of opportunities as well, you know. And I just want to show you, this was my mom when she was It was her 70th birthday, and she loved my morning glories. And I'm gonna read you the poem we put on her little card. It says, traveling, and she loved to travel, right? She always visited. Traveling was my greatest joy, but this time I will not return. When you think about me and think of me, don't be sad. Tell stories and be courageous and even have a laugh. Leave me a place in your heart. So that exact place as I had before. So this is 2020 for me, and this was just my sister found this, and it's in German, and I had to roughly translate it, but that was really the essence, you know, of who my mom was also. So that was a big part of 2020, really deep connections, and really also an opening up of global connections again by the tool of, we get much more familiar with Zoom here, right? And 2021, when I look into 2021, my vision is really leave those old patterns and old belief patterns behind and invite a real new view. Invite a real new you. Invite positive outlooks and peaceful thoughts, because David Bohm, as we know, is a physicist, you know, he talks about how our thoughts create what is in the outside and what is visible in the outside. And if we do not create peace and positivity and beauty within ourselves, we cannot project that outward. So that is what my vision is for 2021. Everybody, I encourage everybody to create peace within themselves, joy within themselves, and really an incredibly positive outlook. All right. That's
Beautiful.
my friends. Thank you so much. And I wish you all really, really wonderful holidays, a wonderful start into the new year. And I hope for more and deeper connections in 2021. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cornelia. Wow. You started it off. We have a spark, and let's continue building the fire. I absolutely love that poem. And I know it can be tough to take those words from German. I know that in German, it's probably melodic and beautiful, and but the words hit, and it was beautiful. And thank you so much. So, thanks. To continue on, I'm going to move to Danny Shanahan. Danny has been my personal guru, guide, mentor since before I was even born. He has absolutely been my connection to spirit and energy my entire life. And I'm very, very grateful for him. And I'm excited for what you're going to share with all of us today, Danny. Thank you for being a part of this. Just hit the unmute button.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. And thank you, Brian. I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah. I remember Carla and I, when we first met Brian, I don't know if we told this story before, he was probably 6 weeks old. And
Danny, hit your video so we can see you. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So so Brian was probably 6 weeks old, and Carla and I went to see him. It was, we were like the two wise men, the wise woman, and went just to go see this new baby up on the beach in Maine. And we sang to him while Megan held him. And we could see his ears moving and his mouth was starting to sing. He just wanted to do that, you know. And so that's the way it's been with the Mariani family. It's a blessing and it's a song and it's a constant birth of healing and blessing and kindness and compassion and reaching out. It's really an amazing experience. One of the things I wanted to say too is that I've been singing a lot lately. And one of the things that I've discovered, especially when I had throat cancer and Russell was walking me through all these institutions to make sure that I would get on the other side of it, is that I discovered that my voice was a bird on the tree of my soul. Deep within me, I didn't create the soul, I didn't create the bird, and I didn't create the body where this bird lives. And so I came to an understanding that this truly is a gift, this voice that I have, and that it's not my own, and that it's not just a song. Everybody has a bird on the tree in their soul. Everybody has a bird on the tree of the soul. And what that bird does sometimes in silence is it just inspires us to move, to fly, to write, to dance, to help somebody, to call somebody, and to forgive somebody. And then also the bird is always sitting on the tree, and it's always oftentimes quiet more often than not. And that's when I'm receiving. That's what I'm receiving right now. I'm receiving your blessing. The blessing of your listening, which is an act of selflessness, a giving away of oneself, just through listening. So I want to thank you for that. That's a great gift to be listened to be heard, to be acknowledged. There's such life in your sitting there and thinking that you're doing nothing, but you're doing everything. You're holding me, you're holding everybody in this room. The power of your listening is mysterious. It's like the mystery of God who's always listening. So I didn't know if this is, so for this year, there's been a lot of singing. And sometimes it's been the song of grief. And sometimes it's the song that takes me through the grief. And I didn't know, Brian, if this is where Carla and I are going to sing or if that's at the end.
Yeah, we'll save that as a
Okay,
closing bell.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what do I, so for the coming year, what I want to do is that I want to dance. I want to dance more. It doesn't, just spontaneously, because the bird wants to dance. The bird within me wants to fly and whirl and soar, because there's kind of like, there is a heavy weight upon us all. And there's one thing about this bird on the tree of your soul and my soul, is that it knows how to fly. It knows how to lift off, and it knows how to let go, like Cornelia was saying, letting go of those obstacles in the way that prevent us from celebrating, and allowing the spirit within us to do that for us. So for this, that's what I want to do is dance. And this morning, I have this practice where before I meditate, I bring things to my higher power, to my lineage, basically. And one of the things is that I like to bring a lei of flowers. And my lineage, they come from India, so it's hot in India. And one of the beautiful things about flowers is that they cool the body. I didn't know if you knew that or not, but these blossoms has a way of cooling the body. And instead of just asking God for something, for him to give or her to give me something, I find such relief, and it's like a flight in a letting go, in an awakening, to bring something to this great power that's manifested everything that we're experiencing right now. That we can bring something to this infinite, mysterious blessing of existence and consciousness. The slightest thing, even a cup of water. And we're blessed in that and empowered by that and strengthened by that and encouraged by that. That's what I felt this morning. So I wish all of that for you in the holiday and Christmas and New Year's. Look forward to being with you for the rest of the year.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You certainly have brought that into my life as you were sharing. I just wanted to share briefly that I was probably, I don't know, 7 to 9 years old, and we were walking through a park in Boston, and I had just learned about the ducklings, you know, these ducks that kind of, there's like a famous group of ducks that walk across the park in Boston Common. And of course, Danny, it wasn't real enough to just tell the story. So he starts singing in the middle of the park and gets me to pretend that we're ducks. And we start doing the duck walk, you know, across the park. And so when he says that he's going to sing and dance, it's not like he's saying it, he's going to do it. So just be on the lookout for a man singing and dancing in places that you don't expect it, because that's Danny. All right, so Megan, why don't you go next? We'd love to hear from you.
Wow, boy. Okay. I actually wrote something down because that's just how I did it. So I'm going to read it to you, and it goes like this. Yesterday, Russell and I drove into Northampton, Massachusetts to do some Christmas shopping. Northampton is about 15 minutes from us and a great town for shopping, restaurants, and outdoor life. However, since March, we have only been there once, and that was to have dinner with friends outside at a restaurant in August. I have not been shopping other than grocery shopping since March of 2020. I have had no desire, and as I assessed that we really have everything that we need, I just didn't shop. And I didn't think too much beyond that decision. We exercise all of the COVID precautions, period. I was very conscious of need and not overspending on things that we didn't really need based on my own insecurities of my personal response to COVID, which in the beginning was one of tremendous anxiety and fear. I felt tremendously insecure. As naive as this may sound, I was shocked and heartbroken when Russell and I ventured out into the streets of Northampton, stores out of business and closed. Not just one or two, but more and more than that. Shops that have been invested into the town and community and the greater community for years, all in the process of closing, and many already closed. When Russell and I drove up to Canada in September to close down our cottage that we never opened up, we crossed a border that was a ghost town. We were the only car crossing a border that in the past we had had to wait for as long as an hour or more at other times. We were the only car in September 2020. I wept for the loss of what was. As I wept silent tears yesterday upon seeing in real time and life the effects of this pandemic. This is my response. We must pause. We must listen. We must change. I grew up in the 50s, very close to World War II. My mother and father experienced the devastation and deprivation of the Depression and war firsthand, and I related in terms of my experience of them, but I didn't fully integrate this into a lifelong lesson. Today, I know that my voice needs to be stronger than ever before. Today, I know that my voice needs to be stronger than ever before. I have equal opportunity arising out of a common experience. In April 2020, I listened so many times to a video that Brian shared with us by Muji. The subject from Brian's email was "A Gift. This Kept Me Alive." The name of the video is "We Are Being Offered a Higher Path." I watched it again and again and again. Muji says in the beginning first few minutes, "What is pulsating in my entire being is something unheard of." I don't think it has ever happened where the whole world is at home. This was a singular time in which the whole world was home. This event shattered my world, and I have been rebuilding. And here is what has happened for me. My heart has opened more. I am listening, and I am listening, maybe reacting, but then listening again and responding out of this, because I believe the call is for humans to wake up to our commonness. The ties that bind us, not separate us. To learn to recognize fear, but not live there. To say I will, and to live the I will with purpose and service. We can work this out together, and we will survive together, and only together. I really get this, and it takes practice, persistence, dedication, to love, to be kind, to collaborate, and be creative and interdependent, and offer interdependence. I have witnessed and experienced a warmth and vulnerability from so many as I have gone out into the world for groceries, and from friends and family, and from this community. For 2021, each of us that are gathered here together today can live fearlessly and offer kindness and compassion. We are ambassadors. We can acknowledge what it means to be human in all its different shades, both good, bad, and rainbow colors, and choose what we want to live by. And we do and can influence one another as we become a networking web. I propose that laughter, love, kindness, collaboration, acceptance, and recognition that perfection already exists in the essence of who we are. And the question becomes, what kind of human being am I becoming? Peace to all. And thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Gosh, there were so many. It was complete and comprehensive, and a beautiful sharing and a vision that we all get to take with us. Thank you very, very much. Beautiful. All right. Well, I would love to introduce our next speaker, Don Snyder. Don is one of these stars that has come into my life this year. He's just so kind and clear and direct. And I've had the great privilege to speak with him on a number of occasions, and I've even worked with him. And he's brought just incredible value into my life in such a distinct way that just such a light in my life this year. So Don is an incredible practitioner of numerology, but his work expands far beyond that. He's an incredible thought leader, and I'm honored that you're here with us, Don, and can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Thanks, Brian. I think I just want to clear something up really quick. I'm really not the numerology guy. That's the guy in the rose-colored shirt there, Wes.
That's definitely true. I know that it's part of the picture. That's why
Yes,
I said that.
I do dabble a little bit with numerology for personal reasons. But anyway, let's just go right on into it. So for 2020, I actually started getting a message in 2019 that this was an opportunity for change. And to me, that meant possibly the chance to grow into a full-time practitioner as opposed to a part-time practitioner. But the other thing that the energy that came with us into 2020 was the opportunity to learn how to trust our intuition. And I think that we saw this manifest many times over 2020 due to all of the conflicting information we saw on various things, whether it was COVID-19 or Russian interference in elections or election fraud. We had so much conflicting information over the course of 2020. It became really important for us to learn how to trust our intuition. Going forward, 2021 allows us to use our intuition to help apply the change that happened in the course of 2020. Really quick, there's a Hermetic philosophy called the Kabbalion, and in there is something called a lesson of polarity. And that's, imagine a thermometer. So polarity says that two things that are opposites are really extremes of the same thing. So with temperature, you have a thermometer, you got heat on the top, you got cold on the bottom. Along with polarity goes the concept of rhythm, up and down, left and right, ebb and flow, seasons. And that opportunity for change presented us a chance to change leadership in 2020. And I think that that's an important thing to touch on here. Leadership, both from the United States standpoint and a global standpoint, in that if we look at, and I'm not trying to make a political statement here, what I'm trying to say is the rhythm, the swing from left to right. If we look at the numerology behind Donald Trump's birthday, it takes us into a situation where he had the chance to learn through freedom and discipline certain lessons. And if you learn them in the negative, you get self-indulgence. You want to have a situation where you have no external restrictions, so you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. And you foster that negative learning of the lessons through distrust, mistrust. And what happens is the whole thing just kind of falls apart. If you look at the numerology for Joe Biden's birthday, he has a 2, which is cooperation and balance. And in the positive, that means to work together for harmony and balance through the use of mutual support. And I think the rhythm is changing. I think it's changing from an environment of mistrust and distrust and needing to control to an energy of moving towards cooperation and balance through harmony and the use of mutual support. And so I just encourage people over the course of 2021 to continue using their intuition in as many ways as you can, because as we saw in 2020, there can be a lot of conflicting information, and the need for you to discern what you consider to be factual information is going to be important for you in order to live your life not in fear, but in love, peace. And that's basically the message that I got, was that 2020 was a year for us to learn how to make those discernments. It was an opportunity for the change, for the swing from the left to the right and the right to the left. Allow that swing to happen, that rhythm to happen. And then use your intuition to work with the change that's happening. And it's a pretty simple message. It's not going to sound spiritual or gospel-like, but it's the message that I got, and I've been following it. And I've seen it in my personal life, and I'd love to give examples, but I told Brian I'd keep this less than 5 minutes, so it's back to Brian.
Thank you so much, Don. It's beautiful, it's perfect, it's simple, it's clear, and that's what I always appreciate about you. And thank you for bringing that to all of us here. Absolutely. Can't wait to hear more from you in 2021.
Thanks for letting me share, Brian.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's go to Russell. We'd love to hear from you.
Well, hello, Brian, and hello, everybody. I thought I was going to be going later, but it's all perfect. So let me just get, okay, so you can see me
We can see you.
and you can hear me. So I just want to thank everybody who has shared so far. I sat in the living room last night in front of our beautiful fireplace, and Megan was working on that piece very soberly and conscientiously. And I just wanted to acknowledge Megan for a very beautiful, powerful, poignant, moving sharing. So thank you, Megan. That was really, really something. And Cornelia and Danny and Don, thank you all for what you shared and what you bring to this community. I wish there were 1,000 people listening this morning, and hopefully when we share the recording, we will get that, we will touch that many people. That's certainly part of the vision for 2021, that we understand that we are our brother's keeper. We are our sister's keeper. We are all in this together. So I've been part of a tradition the last 7 or 8 years where I've had an opportunity to be part of a group that has celebrated the solstice every December through a variety of songs and readings. And because of COVID, we weren't able to do that this year. And so I wasn't planning to do this morning, but when I woke up this morning, I said, I'm going to share a short piece from Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. And so that was something I always look forward to doing every December, and I didn't get a chance to do it this year in Edwards Church in Northampton with Danny and Carla and Megan and several other people in the group. So I'm going to do that now with your permission. I'm going to put on my little Charles Dickens scarf. I'm going to put on my little Charles Dickens eyeglasses. And it's a very short excerpt, but I think it's perfect given everything that's happened this year and everything that's going to happen in 2021. So first, again, this was written over a series of just a few nights. Charles Dickens wrote this sitting down literally just a few hours. He said in many interviews afterwards that it took him the shortest amount of time of all the things that he wrote. And of course, he was a prodigious writer, and it was his favorite. In the last 20 years of his life, his most favorite thing to do was to go out publicly and to read the entire Christmas Carol story. So again, this was written in 1843. And of course, it takes place in London, England. And here's a short description of Ebenezer Scrooge, and then I'll read another little excerpt. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. Hard and sharp as flint, from which no steel had ever struck out generous fire. Secret and contained, and solitary as an oyster. External heat and cold had little influence on Scrooge. No warmth could warm him. No wintry weather chill him. No wind that blew was bitterer than he. No falling snow was more intent upon its purpose. No pelting rain less open to invitation. Foul weather didn't know where to have him. The heaviest rain and snow and hail and sleet could boast of the advantage over him in only one respect, that they often came down handsomely, but Scrooge never did. Nobody ever stopped him in the street to say with gladsome looks, "My dear Scrooge, how are you? When will you come to see me?" No beggars implored him to bestow a trifle. No children asked him what it was o'clock. No man or woman ever once in all his life inquired the way to such and such a place of Scrooge. Even the blind men's dogs appeared to know him, and when they saw him coming on, would tug their owners into doorways and up courts, and then would wag their tails as though they said, "No eye at all is better than the evil eye from the dark master." But what did Scrooge care? It was the very thing he liked, to edge his way along the crowded paths of life, warning all human sympathy to keep its distance. This is what the knowing ones called nuts to Scrooge. Now, this is the scene in the counting house where Scrooge worked, where his nephew comes into the room to wish him a Merry Christmas. Once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It was cold, bleak, biting weather, foggy outside. He could hear the people in the court wheezing up and down, beating their hands upon their breasts and stamping their feet upon the pavement stones to warn them. The city clocks had only just gone 3, but it was quite dark already. It had not been light all day, and candles were flaring in the windows of the neighboring offices like ruddy smears upon the palpable brown air. The fog came pouring in at every chink and keyhole, and was so dense without that, although the court was of the narrowest, the houses opposite were mere phantoms. The door of Scrooge's counting house was open, that he might keep an eye upon his clerk, who in a dismal little cell beyond, a sort of tank, was copying letters. Scrooge had a very small fire, but the clerk's fire was so very much smaller that it looked to be 1 coal. But he couldn't replenish it, for Scrooge kept the coal box in his own room. And so surely as the clerk came in with the shovel, the master predicted that it would be necessary for them to part. Wherefore the clerk put on his white comforter and tried to warm himself at the candle, in which effort, not being a man of strong imagination, he failed. "A Merry Christmas, Uncle! God save you," cried a cheerful voice. It was the voice of Scrooge's nephew, who came upon him so quickly that this was the first intimation he had of his approach. "Bah," said Scrooge. "Humbug." He had so heated himself with rapid walking in the fog and frost, this nephew of Scrooge's, that he was all in a glow. His face was ruddy and handsome. His eyes sparkled, and his breath smoked again. "Christmas a humbug, Uncle? You don't mean that, I'm sure." "I do," said Scrooge. "Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough." "Come then," returned the nephew gaily. What right have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough." Scrooge, having no better answer ready on the spur of the moment, said, "Bah," again, and followed it up with, "Humbug." "Don't be cross, Uncle," said the nephew. "What else can I be," returned the uncle, "when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas? Out upon Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money, a time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer, a time for balancing your books and having every item in them through a round dozen of months presented dead against you? If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly in his heart." "Uncle," pleaded the nephew. "Nephew," returned the uncle sternly, "keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine." "Keep it?" repeated Scrooge's nephew. "But you don't keep it." "Let me leave it alone then," said Scrooge. "Much good it may do you, much good it's ever done you." "There are many things from which I might have derived good, by which I have not profited, I dare say," returned the nephew. "Christmas among the rest. but I'm sure I have always thought of Christmas time when it has come round, apart from the veneration due to its sacred name and origin, if anything belonging to it can be apart from that, as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time I know of in the long calendar of the year when men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely and to think of people below them as if they really were fellow passengers to the grave and not another race of creatures bound on other journeys. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, God bless it. God bless Christmas Day. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.
Yay. Absolutely awesome. I'm so glad that we got that this year. I know that's been, as you said, a tremendous joy for many, many years. So thank you for the message and the reading. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, well, next we have Cathryn Taylor, and I'm so excited to have you with us, Cathryn. For those of you that don't know, Cathryn is the mother of inner child work. She's written on the topic for many, many years. I think the first book was in the
91.
early 90s, 91, right? Yeah. And she's incredibly talented and skillful in her work. But again, personally, she's just a huge light in my life. And she's an extraordinary human being. And I'm so grateful that you're in our community, that you've expanded our community, and you have such a message for the world. And I'm so honored to participate with you and collaborate with you. So please, please share with us what you have. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And thank you for this community. I think when I was thinking about what I wanted to share today, what dawned on me is 2020 for me has really been about community and cooperation and collaboration and expansion. And I think this coffee house gathering, which started April 12th, embodies that. It's given us all an opportunity to extend beyond kind of our expectations of physical contact. And it's really forced us to expand and find new creative ways to break that isolation and feel connected. And so what I really want to do today, I think when I look back on my participation in this group, I think you've heard me speak enough, especially after last time. So what I really want to do is offer an experience. And one of the things that I do in my groups is that at the beginning and at the end, I invite them to do a meditation where we connect our force fields so that we can create a mandala of energy that exists from our higher selves beyond our physical gathering. And so what I really want to offer you, for those of you who are willing, is to do this meditation so that we can take everything that we each respectively have experienced and collectively have experienced and bridge that into 2021 as an expansion of who we are together and individually and on the planet. So if you're willing, I would invite you to close your eyes and just take a moment. Take a moment to come into your heart. Even put your left hand on your heart. Take a deep breath. As we breathe into our heart, we invite our body to expand. We invite our soul to be present in our body. And then if you would, just take the palm of your right hand and place that on your third eye. And as you breathe in, just imagine that you connect your physical heart to your sacred heart. And you get the flow of energy moving from your human self to your higher self. As you breathe in and you breathe out. You breathe in and you breathe out. And you breathe in and you breathe out. And as you've connected to that higher frequency of energy, now holding your hands on your heart and your third eye, imagine that you take that deeper breath that goes way down into your solar plexus, into your first and second chakra, all the way to Mother Earth, so that you connect to the body and to the heart of the earth plane as you breathe in and you breathe out. Getting that flow of energy vertically, expanding that vibrational frequency. And as you breathe up from the belly of Mother Earth, who gave us birth, connect with the solar plexus where all your inner children, divine and wounded, live, so that you activate their vibration, assuring them that you're not leaving them behind, that you're enveloping them as you expand. And allow that column of light that's connecting from Mother Earth to your physical form, to your third eye, to extend beyond, right outside of your crown chakra. And as that column of light extends about 60 feet above your crown chakra, you connect into the grid of unconditional love, the grid of that higher dimension where you meet all of your guardians, all of your loved ones, where there is no separation. Just breathe in and out of that vibrating column of light as it extends beyond your physical form by about 6 to 12 inches. So your whole physical, mental, and spiritual and emotional being is enveloped in this column. And now bring your awareness to the very top of that column where you have extended into the grid. And imagine that everyone on this call, everyone that's participated in these calls, whether they're physically here or not, imagine that their beam of light extends as well. And all those that they know extend. And all of those beams of light, ever so gently, tilt towards the center, where we each touch and create this mandala of energy. A mandala of energy that exists in the unseen and is always there, whether we are physically or electronically connected. That vibrational mandala exists for all of us. And as we move in to 2021, the message is keep it real. We're standing right next to each other. Keep it real. Now take a deep breath. And as you bring your conscious focus back to your heart, know that this vibration has been established and never ceases to exist. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for
Oh,
giving
wow.
me that opportunity.
Thank you so much, Cathryn. Oh, wow. Extraordinary.
Thank you.
And yeah, just so real. And thank you for giving us the practicality of how we're connected and the knowingness that that's real and that we can give that and offer that every day to people. Thank you, Cathryn. Okay, well, without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Wes Hamilton. He is a master numerologist, and he is an incredibly wise human and an incredibly connected person. And he's, what I'm really excited about from Wes is that he's really able to pull together the message from the universe, from what's going on, to an individual basis. And I'm really excited for you, Wes, to just give us that message so that we can all move forward together with the light that Cathryn gave us, with the message that Cornelia offered, with the direction that Dawn gave us, with the beautiful words that Megan gave us, with the story that Russell shared, and the light and the dance and the song that Danny gave us, and pull that all together. So thank you so much, Wes. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, it's been an amazing hour here that we've been spending time together. Every one of the people who've shared today have really helped remind us of what we've been going through. And the numerology in 2020 was teaching us how to become more aware of who we really are. This whole year is about developing the mastery of who we are. And like Don talked about, being creative and visionary, and learning about what we're capable of. 2020 has been part of a mastery year program. You've got the twos and the zeros. So what I've been noticing every year, every month of 2020, is we're learning something new about ourselves. And because 2020 is a 4 in numerology, it's been dealing with structures and patterns and rituals, and those are pretty much all changed, gone, altered, whatever. We don't have entertainment to go to. We don't have restaurants to enjoy each other. We don't have sports to participate in. So there's so many things going on in 2020 that this prediction started back in 2017, where the wisdom of numerology says we're going to go through a 9-year period of waking up. And this awakening is, like most of the people today have been talking about, we're all in this together. It's no more I, it's about we. And this winter solstice has been a very special part of my life for many years. For several years, I haven't done it for last few years, but for several years, 9 years in a row, we would drive to northern Minnesota and create a sweat lodge. The Native Americans saw me as a leader and taught me how to be part of their program as far as being a pipe carrier and a sweat lodge leader. And in the sweat lodge, we go through the levels of consciousness to become more aware of who we are. And we work with the Great Spirit, the energy of God. And when we leave the sweat lodge, we celebrate with food and song and sharing and so forth. And the best part of it that I always remember is we would build this huge bonfire. Because the Mayan tradition, who I've been working with for many years, also believe God needs to know that we like light. And so if we build a big bonfire and let God know, bring back the light because it's the shortest day of the year, maybe God will grant our wishes. And just coincidentally, God did. He started making it brighter every day. So last night, since we're not doing a bonfire, we're not gathering, my wife and I turned on all the lights front and back of our yard, all over our deck, and left it on. That was our bonfire last night. So we honoring that tradition of letting God know we need more light again. And the difference between 2020 and 2021 that I see is it's been one day after another, 1 week, month after another. What else is going to fail? What else is going to break down? And we're kind of sitting and waiting to see if all the pieces are broken and can we start growing again. And because 2020 has been about structures, they've fallen apart. And what I see in 2021 is we're going to start rebuilding ourselves. And it's going to be really important that we look not in our rearview mirror, like what did we have, more in our windshield and what can we create? Because 2021 is a 5-year, and a 5 is all about reclaiming our freedom to come and do what we want to do. Some people have been trying to get that freedom by not wearing masks, which wasn't maybe a good idea. We're learning about how to be flexible and adaptable. We are going to be learning about creating our life instead of just dealing with life. So my message for 2021 is stay awake, stay aware, realize your full potential is to create your reality. And as we heard today from Cornelia, we do create our reality with our thoughts. So it's going to be really important that you get a clear vision about what you'd really like to move into. What would your life look like in 2021 if you could create what you want? And my wife Lori and I were talking about that on our walk this morning. And we have a really clear vision about helping people find their way in the world. And now this morning we said, well, that's pretty good, but it's not very specific. So we've got to get a little more clear about how we want to do it, where we want to do it, and when we want to do it. It's going to be important because your ability to create, you were born with. And numerology has the gift of showing you all the answers that you want if you just look inside. And that creative ability is going to be huge for us in 2021. Because if we're sitting and waiting for someone to fix things, I don't think that's going to happen. We'll put Band-Aids on. We'll try different things, but I think our culture has changed. I think our consciousness has changed. I kind of related or feel that it's very similar to when in the Christian storybook, there's Moses who took his people out into the desert for 40 years to change their culture and their behaviors and so forth. And I know things happen much faster in 2021 than they did back when Moses was working with people. So I think we can get that 40-year thing done in 1 year. And I think that's what happened. That's what it feels like to me. We changed who we are. We changed our culture. We changed our values. We changed our dream. And it was a huge wake-up call. And next year, starting, I think on day one, I've just completed writing my January forecast, and it looks really promising. I had a reading from Echo Bodine, who I think some of you are going to get to know over this next year. And she said, for me, it's going to be like I go to bed and go to sleep New Year's Eve, and I wake up and I have a new life on New Year's Day. So when you wake up New Year's Day, I'd like you to realize your new life is starting. All the energies of the numbers say your new life starting. And in January, it will be, well, what will my responsibility be to start my new life with my friends and family, with my career? What's my part? What's my role? So 2021 is going to be filled with opportunities, exploring. I hope you don't sit and wait for somebody to fix things, because that's not the energy of 2021. And we have seen that it's not going to be a straight line to get to where we want to go, because we're exploring new territories. So one of the words that have become, I think, a mantra for people in 2020 is the word pivot. People have been pivoting all years, trying to find where in the heck they can move forward with. And so Lori and I have taken that word and moved it into 2021. If you are going to pivot, which I think most of us will be, what is it you want? What's your destiny going to look like for the next several years? So my message from the numbers say, be optimistic, get that wind under your wings, be able to fly again and feel that energy of the freedom. We don't have to wear masks. Now, we will have to wear them until May. That's what my numbers tell me. So just be mindful, the end is near. And when I had the reading with Echo, she said, yep, middle of April, 1st of May, that's when the light comes back. So that's my message for our coffee house group. Be creative, stay awake, aware, and enjoy it. 2021 is going to be an amazing year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wes. What a message to hold each other's hands with, and to go out into and with our families and friends for the holidays, and to have that knowingness that we came together today, and in a few short days from now, 2020 will come to an end, and we all get to wake up on the 1st of January with the knowingness of what we shared together today. And I think the invitation is, as it's always been with this coffee house, to be open and to share. And I think that's a lot of what has been said today, to just reach out and share with people intuitively and from your heart, and invite them into your world and listen into their world, see what's going on in the people around you. And I think we will all be more surprised than maybe ever before to get to know the people around us. So thank you, Wes. Thank you, everybody. What an honor to participate with you all and to grow this together. Absolutely extraordinary. So we are very, very excited to continue this in 2021. We're already booked out through February, and many more extraordinary people just keep coming into this circle. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will finish out with a song from Danny and Carla. So please take us away and take us off. Go for it.
They need to unmute.
Oh, you just have to unmute yourself. And if anyone feels called to, unmute yourself and join in. You're still muted. There, oh. One more time.
There we go.
I just
Okay.
have a little note, one little note on the bird.
Okay.
My bird, this is new. This is absolutely new for 2021. My bird is freedom. I've kind of already always known that. My path to it is forgiveness, and that also has been going on. The image of the bird is what I haven't used before, but I love that image. And that's about it. That's about it. So I want to thank everyone for that, and especially the person who talked about the bird.
This is my bird right here. This is the tree on the bird of my soul, Carla Bee.
I'm a tree too. Oh, great. Okay, let's go. Let's
Okay.
hit it.
In the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan. Earth stood hard as iron, water like a stone. Snow was falling, snow on snow, snow on snow. In the bleak midwinter, long ago. Oh, what can I bring him, poor as I am? If I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. If I were a wise man, I would do my part. Yet what I can, I bring him. Bring him my heart. In the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan. Earth stood hard as iron, water like a stone. Snow was falling, snow on snow, snow on snow. In the bleak midwinter, long ago.
Beautiful.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Love to you all, and thank you so much.
That was
Beautiful.
beautiful, transcendent.
Mary,
Oh, yeah.
or
Very
Marie?
nice.
Okay, everyone unmute themselves and big virtual hug to you all. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
grateful to be sharing the light with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you,
really good.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, everyone, and happy
Everybody.
holidays
Thank
to
you,
everyone.
everyone.
Good to see
That
you.
was
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Cornelia.
Gratitude.
Thank you.
Get our mandala.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. That was
Everyone.
wonderful.
Sacred times.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Megan, Catherine.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Megan.
you, Brian. Good job.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Brian.
Yeah.
Thanks, Megan, for sharing. That was beautiful.
It was
Yeah.
very nice.
What?
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Everybody.
Amy. Thank you,
Happy
Mary.
Hey,
solstice.
Marie.